got a family mess.
All rise for Judge Joe Brown. Whoa! Experience, knowledge, and a passion for the truth.
I'm protecting womanhood and promoting manhood.
Bringing no-nonsense justice to Americans everywhere.
If you listen, you may learn something.
It's time for Judge Joe.
Coming to America cost a woman her sister. Homemaker Luce Anderson is suing her sister for rent, loans, and moving expenses. Defendants face Cinco and Don Welty are countersuing for embezzlement and fraud. Now it's Joe time.
Miss Anderson, you're suing your sister, Miss Cinco, and what appears to be her boyfriend, Mr. Welty. You allege that they owe you quite a bit of money in total, but far in excess of the jurisdictional limit. And you have a counterclaim. You say that your sister, the plaintiff, enslaved, extorted, and exploited you in so many words over a 3-year period, and that she forged your signature on tax returns and other things for personal gain, and if anything, she owes you money. And for some reason, Mr. Welty joins in on that. Now, you decided to subsidize your sister, Miss Cinco, and she came over from the Philippines November 24th in 2007. She and her 2 children. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, now how long did the defendant and her children stay in your home?
3 years, Your Honor.
Now, you allege she agreed to pay room and board once she got employment in February of 2008.
Correct, Your Honor.
Now, what is this about the power of attorney that's in evidence here?
Because, sir, when he got here in the States, she doesn't know anything how to take care of her money because they're not even enough for all the expenses they need for her and her kids. So I'm the one who suggested to get to open an account for her and to get a power attorney for me so that I can control and take care of everything that they need for her money. But since the money is not even enough, I told her, and she knows, that the money is not enough, so I've been helping her out, everything that she needs. And she agreed that once she will gonna get her tax refund, she will gonna pay for that. So I agree because we are not rushing to pay us back because I'm not working and I'm just getting money from my husband every month.
So in essence, so you might as well stand up. Mr. Anderson, you've been subsidizing your sister-in-law, is that right?
That's correct, sir.
Okay, you're the one that brings in the paycheck.
Exactly.
Okay, now, when did your sister-in-law move out?
In November of last year.
You allege, sir and ma'am, that you put the money up so that she could move into this apartment, including the security and utility deposits, and you paid in one lump sum on her behalf. What is it, 5 months' rent?
Yes.
She and her children moved in.
Yes, sir.
Now, everything looks like it's going smoothly at this point. When does it change?
When Faye met this guy, Don Person, everything changed, Your Honor.
Now, what time is that? What month?
That was March also, sir.
Oh. Now, you two have a 35-year-old son.
Yes,
I
sir.
believe he co-signed on a 2009 motor vehicle
Correct.
in 2009 for the
Yes, sir.
defendant.
Mhm.
All right, ma'am, Ms. Cinco, you deny that the plaintiffs are entitled to anything. You even say that they owe you.
First of Your Honor, we don't have any oral agreement between me and my sister, and never has been done.
Well, there's an existing power of attorney that was around.
The power of attorney, yes,
Yes.
but not the oral agreement that I owe her that money she claiming for me is false.
Well, it's not so much any oral agreement. It's just that what I have here is a long, what amounts to a ledger, the bills and everything else, and it deals with expenditures from their accounts, either to yours or on your behalf, there are times when the power of attorney was exercised and with an appropriate accounting, funds transferred from the joint account that the two of you had to reimburse for expenses that they seem to have documented. So you're alleging that they embezzled $23,000 from you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now one thing I find interesting, you say that she made me buy a 2009 Nissan Murano for her own personal use. I don't even have a driver's license.
Yes, sir.
And she confronted me about this, but I told her I was not going to pay her.
Yes, sir.
And you backed that up, sir, right?
I was not here at the time.
Yeah, but you say when you got involved with her, you looked over things and found that, in your opinion, she had been getting exploited, right?
That's correct.
Okay, now, why do you say she got exploited?
The car was a Nissan Murano 2009 with a value or a purchase price of $42,000, and it's supposedly bought for a lady who does not have a driver's license, whose daughter does not have a driver's license, and who's on a limited income.
And what happened to that?
And she was driving the car.
You found out who was driving?
Luce was driving the car.
Oh, yeah, driving your girlfriend, the defendant, Miss Cinco, around, right?
That's correct. But
Sure.
Okay,
primarily,
hold on. Okay, now,
primarily
what happened to that car, that Murano?
what we did was we looked around to see if we could use it as a trade-in, since the car was expensive to operate, and we found.
We took the car where we could get the best deal.
That's correct. We went to.
And the pronoun here is no longer we, it's I bought a used car with the Murano as a trade-in. How
Yes.
do you get in the mix and get to use this vehicle that is encumbered with a loan to the finance company, and you get to use it on a trade-in? And by the way, interestingly enough, the plaintiff doesn't say anything about it because she doesn't have any interest in it. It's your 35-year-old nephew, her son, who's signed on the dotted line so you could get the Murano. As a matter of fact, ma'am, it looks like you approached your nephew and they didn't even know anything about it
Your
until
Honor.
after it's over.
My sister told her son.
Your 35-year-old nephew was approached by you directly, not your sister and your brother-in-law. So 35 years old is grown.
We'll be right back with Judge Joe Brown. We're back with Judge Joe Brown. The plaintiff in this case says she set her sister up with everything she needed when she came to America. She says the defendant met a man, took off, gave him nothing. Let's see what the judge has to say.
The documentation is good. It shows that the rent, security deposits, and utilities were paid out of the joint credit union account of the plaintiff and her husband, and not the defendant's account that the plaintiff had a power of attorney on. The power of attorney grants her the authority, equal authority, if not a superior authority, to work the account. She does, but everything that comes through and around and back in and out of that account is accounted for.
Even
Everything.
everything.
And she didn't even charge you for a lot of out-of-pocket expenses that she's got documented and a lot of other things.
How about forging my signature?
Just not forging your signature. She can act for you. If you got the power of attorney,
Even-
that's you.
On my name, she forged my signature.
Your Honor, even before the power of attorney was in effect for the Citibank
How do
account.
you know? See, the way I look at this thing is you jumped yourself in the midst of this. You don't know what you're talking about. You're not an accountant. You're not an attorney. You go in, you run your mouth off recklessly, and you break up a decent situation. You get in it, and you take the 2009 Nissan Murano, and you trade it in on a used vehicle that you are operating. You are one of the registered owners on. And one problem I have is that your girlfriend's 35-year-old nephew is still the signer on the note that got the 2009 Murano, and his situation is jeopardized because you took advantage of a financial situation that the plaintiffs didn't even have any involvement in. It's their son and your girlfriend's nephew, and you exploited your nephew's financial resources, and now you have a car.
May I explain?
There's no need for explanation. You jumped yourself in here and you created chaos, running your mouth off about things you don't know about. There's nothing that's been done wrong anywhere in this account. And no telling where her finances are right now. And we've got one situation involved in this car that is untenable right now. I don't know what your son's gonna do or your nephew's gonna do about it.
Your Honor?
So your cross complaint is denied. First off, you don't have any standing to be a cross complainant in here. And the theory that they have on your status as a defendant is to an extent well taken, because the way it looks is you caused, solicited, induced, conspired, and attempted to defraud the plaintiff. So your complaint's denied, your complaint's granted, $5,000 in your cost, and that's less than is actually owed to you.
Yes, and this courtroom is now in recess.